Imagine a machine designed to survive 90 days that instead endures for 15 years. This was the reality for the Opportunity Rover, a triumph of human engineering that landed on the red dust of Mars in 2004. By the time our final narrative begins in 2014, the rover had transformed from a short-term scout into a legendary marathoner. Yet, the Martian environment is an unforgiving host. A decade of exposure to extreme temperature fluctuations and abrasive sand had left Opportunity physically scarred. Mechanical fatigue had begun to seize its robotic limbs, and its internal flash memory, the digital brain of the craft, was frequently glitching. Scientific instruments that once operated with surgical precision were now losing their edge. Despite these hurdles, the rover's spirit remained unbroken as it crested the summit of Cape Tribulation. From this high vantage point, it gazed across the 22-kilometer expanse of the ancient Endeavour crater, where windswept dunes masked the secrets of the planet's watery past. Every track left behind was a testament to human curiosity, proving that even a simple machine could defy its own expiration date in the name of discovery. Subscribe to Celestial Secrets for more deep space chronicles and the untold stories of cosmic exploration. As Opportunity approached the milestone of its mission, a literal marathon distance of 26.2 miles, it faced its most daunting physical challenge yet. To enter the scientifically rich Marathon Valley, the rover had to navigate a 32-degree incline, the steepest slope it had ever encountered. The descent was so jarring that the thick layer of Martian dust accumulated on its solar panels began to slide off, inadvertently giving the rover a much-needed power boost. However, internal crises mirrored these external trials. The rover's flash drives were failing, causing the onboard computer to reset spontaneously. Mission controllers on Earth were forced to perform a daring digital workaround. They bypassed the flash memory entirely, operating the rover in RAM-only mode. This was a high-stakes gamble. Because IM is volatile, any data not transmitted to Earth before the rover's daily sleep cycle would be erased forever. Working under these constraints, the team pushed forward to Hinnis Point and Knudsen Ridge. Here, they sought the holy grail of Martian geology, phyllosilicates, or clay minerals. These brittle, reddish rocks were the fingerprints of ancient, neutral pH liquid water, suggesting that Mars was once a far more hospitable world than the frozen desert we see today. By September 2017, Opportunity reached a geological feature that would define its final years, Perseverance Valley. This gully, carved into the rim of the Endeavour crater, looked remarkably like a dry riverbed on Earth. Scientists were desperate to determine its origin. Was it carved by ancient floods, grinding ice, or the relentless Martian wind? Opportunity spent months meticulously imaging stone patterns that hinted at past fluid flows. Even as its alpha spectrometer grew weak, requiring weeks to finish a single scan, the rover continued its lonely labor. Life on Mars also brought rare spectacles, such as the sighting of a towering dust devil swirling across the crater floor. By its 5,000th Martian day, or Sol, the rover even paused to snap a blurry, triumphant selfie using its microscopic imager, a final, humble portrait of a pioneer. At this stage, Opportunity was still remarkably healthy, generating 450 watts of power from the sun's rays. It had survived 12 Earth years and traveled further than any human-made vehicle on another world. But the Martian atmosphere was brewing a cataclysm that no amount of engineering could withstand. A small localized storm was rapidly evolving into a global shroud of darkness. In June 2018, the sky over Perseverance Valley turned a bruised, opaque black. A planetary-scale dust storm had arrived, with an atmospheric opacity reaching a record-breaking 10.8, nearly double the intensity of any previous storm. For a solar-powered rover, this was a death sentence. Opportunity's power levels plummeted from 468 watts to a meager 133 in just days. Its final message to Earth was a haunting summary of its predicament: "My battery is low and it's getting dark." On June 12, 2018, the rover entered a state of emergency hibernation. For months, engineers listened to the silence of the void, hoping that once the dust settled, the wind would sweep the solar panels clean. They sent over 1,000 commands to wake the sleeping giant, but no signal ever returned. In February 2019, the mission was officially declared over after 5,352 souls. Opportunity left behind a legacy of definitive proof: Mars once held stable bodies of liquid water. It wasn't just a machine, it was our eyes and ears on a distant shore, proving that while a robot's life may end, the knowledge it uncovers is eternal. Enjoyed this journey across the Red Plains? Don't miss our next deep dive into the cosmos. Hit that subscribe button and join the Celestial Secrets community today.